After a fall sitting that saw MPs pass just 4 government bills, the Conservatives are pledging cooperation with the minority Liberals to help advance policies to enact trade deals, make groceries more affordable, fix the bail system, and approve major projects. But can things change meaningfully? Karen Seolin sat down with Deputy Conservative Leader Melissa Lantsman this weekend to discuss whether the two parties are turning the page.
All right, let's do it.
Thank you so much for making the time for me on a Sunday.
On a Sunday,
Yeah,
at my family skate, at my annual family skate.
Your party is working with the minority Liberals right now on some key pieces of legislation, affordability and crime, to get things moving a bit faster. What's led to this, I suppose, new spirit of cooperation?
Well, look, I think Canadians expect results, and we haven't seen any of that. We haven't seen any of that from the Carney government. We saw a lot of words, and a lot of it was our own words, things that we had run on in the election, things that they had reversed themselves on. And as an opposition, we'll always work with the government to put forward solutions. There are a few things that we want to see happen, pipelines to Tidewater, the extraction of our critical minerals, lower taxes for Canadians across the board. These are all things we talked about. Things like dropping the EV mandate. We started banging the drum on this a long time ago, and it took them a year to do it. So sure, we'll support them on things like that because those were our ideas.
Yeah, I think many Canadians are wondering just how far the loyal opposition support will go. For instance, Budget Implementation Act, that will be a confidence motion. Just how far are you willing to fight the Liberals on that? Because we know right now, as it stands, it doesn't have the opposition support.
Well, look, there are certain things in the Budget Implementation Act that we could support. The 8 million Canadians and the 2.5 million more votes that we got expect a strong opposition, again, that's going to hold the government to account where it makes sense and going to actually work in order to get things done in Ottawa.
Let me pick up on that point, because there is a lot of election speculation in Ottawa right now. What is your assessment of the likelihood that we might actually be going to the polls? Like, do Conservatives want an election right now?
Election speculation is like a sport in Ottawa. It happens. It happens in every single month, in every single season. Canadians elected us to do a job, and we're going to do that in Ottawa. It has been less than a year since the election, and Mark Carney still hasn't gotten things done. So our job is to make sure that we get those things done in Ottawa, and make sure that we're the government in waiting when an election does come.
Mr. Poilievre obviously has a ton of support within your party, notwithstanding the resounding result he got in his recent leadership review.
Sure.
Public opinion polling does show that his own personal popularity numbers, however, are at a historic low, and Mr. Carney's favorability continues to rise. I suppose, what does that tell you about what your party needs to do in order for Mr. Poilievre to gain more favor with more Canadians?
Look, our party has to be there to offer hope to Canadians, to offer change to Canadians, to offer a government in waiting to Canadians. We're going to continue to put that in the window. We believe that the Liberals are falling short. I think many Canadians are going to see, as time goes on, that the Liberals are falling short on actually delivering results versus their rhetoric. So we're going to be there to oppose them, to support the things that we can support, and again, to expose the things that they're not telling us.
Let me ask you more bluntly then. Do you think Mr. Poilievre needs to be more likable?
I think Mr. Poilievre is giving Canadians a message of hope, and I think that his message during that convention was clear. He will never give up on that.
Lastly, before I let you hit the ice, because I know you're real eager to go meet with your constituents.
I've never done an interview in skates, by the way, so.
We appreciate it. A first for everything. But your colleague, Jamil Javani, taking an independent trip to Washington, meeting with White House officials and others for what he says in an effort to improve Canada's trade relationship with the United States. Was that a trip that was sanctioned by Mr. Poilievre?
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, parliamentarians should be encouraged to go to Washington. And in Jamil's case, in Mr. Javani's case, he's got a massive exposure to the auto sector, the people of Oshawa, and frankly, the people more broadly in Ontario. And I think he's speaking for all of those people. The thousands of job losses that we've saw in the auto sector.
Certainly don't want to take away from that, but do you think at a time when Donald Trump and his administration have been very clear that they want to expose divisions in this country, that they perhaps want to undermine the Carney government during a very important negotiation, do you think, Mr. Giovanni taking an independent trip
Well, you're
that's not in
suggesting-
concert with
You're
the
suggesting
government?
that you're suggesting that there's a division between what Mr. Giovanni wants and what the government wants, and I think that everybody wants Canadians to feel more secure, to have their to have their work, and to move forward as a country. And I think that any way to get there is a good way.
Okay, Ms. Lantsman, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.